Hi, I'm Maya from Bookworm Dreams and welcome to a new video. Well, today is it's still Sunday. If you finished my last vlog for this project, this is week 4 of Let's Finish reading the Reddit Fantasy Bingo Challenge and let's finish the TBR. So far, it's been 3 weeks of this and I've read 8 books. I've DNF'd 1. The books were pretty large. Apparently, I put lots of tomes on my TBR. Now, in this last week, I looked at the list. I rewrote the list. I think I rewrote this list like a million times. So I went through the list, wrote down my TBR. Oh my god, this something is going to kill me. I don't know what it's insane. It's like, it's sunny and then it's like cloudy and then there's like rain and thunder. There was snow. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so I probably wrote down this TBR millions of times, and now that I went through it and I wrote the prompts for the challenge, and I wrote down like my 2 choices that I had. The yellow ones are like my first thoughts, and then the green ones were like my second thoughts, where I focused more on having books by authors of color. So far, I'm doing really well in the sense of getting through each of the categories. So there were only 2 categories in this challenge that I haven't read anything for. So I have the prompt Mythical Beasts, and for that I have the book An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. And the other prompt that I haven't read anything for is, where is it? Druids. So for that I have 2 options. I have Jasmine Throne, which is here, by Tasha Shuri. And I have Dreamer's Pool by, oh my god, forgot the author's name. Alright, you'll see that in the thingy. I think my goal for this week, the last week of this is also, by the way, the week before Easter. Easter is a week away on Sunday. So I think my goal for this week will be to work on these 2 books so that I can achieve bingo by reading all the categories. Now, I'm not going to be able to read all the other books on the TBR, but what is going to happen with those books is that I have a jar. Of course I have a jar. I have several jars with prompts. I have a jar called Forgotten TBR. And in that jar go all the books that I haven't read that have been on various reading challenges or TBRs or whatnot. Something that I have been like bringing with me for so long. And I'm looking at what my dog is doing. Neo. Hello. What's up? So that have been on my TBR for so long. So like, for example, Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. It's not going to get read in this reading challenge. If there is an option of putting the book on the next Reddit Fantasy Bingo Challenge, that will happen. Basically, the goal for next week is to deal with these 2 books, and then when I finish those 2, see what strikes my fancy and try to finish. I do have the zombie one though. So anyway, yeah, that's the plan for this week, and yeah, we'll talk when I read something. Okay, hi. It's Tuesday evening. I started reading An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. This is a fucking... okay, so I am now at 78 pages in this book, and I'm just fucking done. I'm so fucking done. So in the story, we follow 2 characters, Elias and Leia, whatever. So Leia lives, she's a scholar. Her whole people are called the scholars because they're scholars. They study math, architecture, astronomy, whatnot. That they have been conquered by the Empire and the Emperor and whatnot. And so the Emperor has this, or Empire has this military school in which, where, you know, he's teaching young people to become masks, which are like, what do we call them? I guess they are like higher elite soldiers. So at the beginning of the book, Leia's brother Darren, or whatever his name was, basically comes home after curfew, after sneaking around with a sketchbook of the Emperor's fucking weapons and whatnot. And of course, Raid comes and kills Leia's and Darren's grandparents, who have been taking care of them since their parents left them there, and take Darren away to be like tortured and whatnot because, you know, he's working against the Empire. Leia then Laia, whatever her name is, goes to find the resistance, who apparently Darren has been working with, and, you know, she wants to, you know, bring her brother or break him out of prison or whatnot. So that's one side of the story, which is not bad. You can see sort of inklings of what is about to happen, and like what happened before, because so Leia's parents, which we find out, have been leaders of the resistance, but they were betrayed by someone. Like, I fucking wonder who. Probably the guy who was left in charge after they were executed, probably. And she's now asking for their help, and they were like, "Well, we'll help you." The guy who probably betrayed her parents will help you if you go spy for us in this academy thing. Elias, the other dude we follow, the other character, basically he is a soldier. He's the son of the commandant of the school. She is a vicious, cruel, like, the whole school is fucking torture. And we sort of start his part of the story with him preparing to desert after the graduation, because it's the perfect time. He can leave, no one will look for him, and he'll have plenty of time to run away and like live his life, because he doesn't want to be a soldier. We have a couple of scenes of him with his peers, and like one of them is a fucking such a idiotic bully that is so vicious and cruel, and he's like, there's like a fucking scene. So Elias has spent most of his time questioning and wondering what the Empire has been spoon-feeding them, you know. It's like brainwashing to become a soldier. And the story starts with, as he's preparing to leave, but there's also a deserter, because I think not babies, they're like 7 or 8 or 9 years old when they get to this school. And one of the fourth years, which means that they would be 11 or 12, has escaped, and now, you know, they found him, and now they're going to kill him by whipping him to death. And there's the bully guy, whose name is Marcus. He's like, "Oh, why aren't you happy that the guy died? The kid died. Say it that he deserved it. Say it, say it." He's such a fucking bull. I cannot. And now it's graduation day, and there's in each generation there's only one a female graduate, soldier, student, whatever. And that is Elias's friend Helene, and he's like suddenly figuring out that she's a girl, and you know, he's having like feelings and whatnot. And so this fucking Marcus guy is such a bully, and he has like rapey energy, and he basically first kissed her to, it was so fucking stupid, and I just cannot and could not care less. I mean, I cannot. It's enraging, and I don't want to be in this state of mind, so I'm going to put this away. I will try to find something that would fit this prompt. I think the prompt for this is mythical beings or something, mythical beasts or whatnot. I'll try to find something, but I am not in the state of mind to be in this world. It's fucking enraging. So no, we are putting this away. Fuck you. So what does that leave me with? I have Jasmine Throne. What is it? So that's my other book that I have to read. I'm pretty sure the world will be similar. Hopefully not as cruel. So yeah, I do have an option if I don't like this world as well. Another thing to read. So yeah, I am now going to go walk my dog and try to expel this rage that I'm feeling right now. And I am going to then try to read a bit of this. Then tomorrow, I'll try again with this one. I usually have a rule that I give each book 30%. And if my feelings change, or if I don't like the book by 30%, then I can DNF it. This book has like, oh my god, it's also humongous. It has 446 pages. So 30% of that would be 120, I think. But my audiobook is kind of weird. Just saying that it's like 40 hours long. So I have no idea. Maybe that the whole trilogy is in it. I have no idea. Anyway, so 30% of 450 books, it's, let's say, 45, that's 90, that would be 130 something pages. So yeah, I'll try this again tomorrow. try to get to 150 pages, and then I'll decide if I'm going to continue on or not. But I will be skipping shit. I will be skipping shit because I cannot stand Marcus and whatnot. But after my walk, I'll try to figure out this one and give it a whirl, I guess. Hi, it's Thursday. I am now at, let's say, 40% of this. I'm on page 200 now. And I finished part 1 of the book. In its predictable fashion, like, basically, Elias, the soldier that we are following, he wanted to escape, but he was stopped by the augurs, who are like magical people with magic. They can see the future, they can read minds, they have, you know, some magical ability, they can heal, they can do stuff. So basically, one of them told him, if you leave, you will miss out on a chance to actually be free. And at his graduation, the trials were announced. The trials where the top 4 students from his generation are going to compete to become emperors. 'Cause that's how they pick an emperor. And they were like, oh, the current emperor's line will fail. We need a new one. So it's going to be you 4 if you accept. And he accepted. And, you know, that's all fine and dandy. The trials are like, whatever. You have to face your fear, you have to, like, fight, you know, invisible creatures and whatnot. Basically show cunning and knowledge of, because there are some, like, mystical creatures that are in this world, like ghouls and wraiths and jinns and whatnot. We've seen ghouls and we've seen wraiths so far, so we'll see what comes on later. What my issue is that I'm currently rage reading this. It's not hate reading, because I don't actively hate what I'm reading. The writing is good, the plot is compelling. I just fucking hate the peripheral bad guys that we have, and the actual bad guy that we have. I mean, I have thoughts on the resistance that are supposed to, like, the collection of scholars that are supposed to fight the emperor and the empire and whatever, get them off their land, I guess. I have thoughts on that, and I have made assumptions, and I'm curious to see if I get to the end, if my assumptions will be correct. But what my issue is that the peripheral bad guys are so sadistic. They're sadistic torturer rapists who are just here to make your blood boil, and the whole world is very dark. Because the other character we follow, Laia, she's now a slave. She's now slave to the commandant, who is like the ruler of the school, who is also Elias's mother. And the commandant is a fucking sadist and basically tortures everyone. The slaves, she has a young slave without an eye, who we later find out she did that when the kid was 5 or something. And, like, we meet these people that this person has tortured. We see her torture Laia. We see her, how she deals with her son and whatnot. And it's the whole, I mean, it's painting a very dark picture. And I haven't been in a dark fantasy mood for some time now, so this is very difficult for me to read. I'm just raging, and I'm just rolling my eyes because our character is really... Well, at least Laia doesn't have a choice. She wants to help her brother, she wants to save her brother from whatever, which is not going to happen. I can, like, assume now that they're, like, fucking with her. I mean, whatever, the ruler of the resistance is fucking with her, and he's, like, manipulating her, but she's desperate enough to fall for it, and you know, she has now been warned by a previous member of the resistance who is now a slave, you know, that the resistance is shit, which I completely agree with. I can totally see it. But just, you know, having a male character, because the trials, I totally went on a tangent. The trials, we have four people. We have Elias, we have his friend Helene, and Marcus and Zach. Marcus and Zach are brother and sister. Brother and sister, 2 brothers. Fuck. And Marcus is the rapey one. I mean, he basically walks around telling Helene, like, she is his peer. She is, like, top 4 in the fucking school. And he's, like, walking around saying how he's going to rape her, how he's going to destroy her, how he's going to kill her. You know, it's like, why? Like, why put myself through this in this world to, like, have such characters to follow, to have such characters? I mean, I'm raging enough, but when he dies, I know when he dies, when Helene ultimately will kill him at the end of this book, I know it will not be satisfactory. I know it will not, what's the word, make up for all the rage I'm feeling, for all the negative emotions that this character is, like, you know, invoking. But I can't. So, yeah, I am rage reading this. I'm giving it till the end of the day. It's now, like, I don't know, 1 p.m. Giving it until the end of the day to finish this book. And if I don't give a shit. I'm gonna continue on to Jasmine Throne, because I cannot. I'm rage reading it, and I don't think it's a good place to be when reading a book. It's not bad. The writing is good, like, the plot is interesting, but the fucking characters, man. I don't know. The book needs, like, a giant meteor to come and basically kill off everyone, and we can start again, basically. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this book so far. Here's another problem. I don't know what will happen in this book that will make me want to finish the series. You know? There isn't a lot of people to root for. I mean, like, whatever. You can root for Elias and Leia, but, like, literally, like, this is the world you live in. Nothing you do will change it. Like, even if Elias becomes the Emperor, the goal is to remove the Emperor from the picture, right? Or at least remove the whole... Yeah. Remove them from the picture so the scholars, the rebellion, whatnot, would, you know, come on top. Nothing will change. Like, even if Elias wins the trials, becomes the Emperor, and, like, even his, like, even there isn't a personal relationship we can root for, you know? So yeah, I'm finding it difficult to have feelings, something to motivate me to finish this other than rage. So yeah, I'll talk to you later when I finish this. Technically it's Friday, because it's after midnight, closer to 1 than midnight. So I am currently at 85% of this book. That would be page 380 of 446, and I am not finishing this. I am DNFing this because honestly I can't. The characters in this book are in a very specific situation in which they're, oh my god, it's like YA, but so darker, so much darker, and, you know, it's just, they're in this horrible situation where they're fighting for their lives, fighting for their souls. Like, Laia, the slave girl, is like being, like, there are people carving shit into her skin. She's been, like, people have been sexually assaulting her. She's like fucking being manipulated and everything, and she spends like several pages wondering why Elias is treating her like a human being, and like, is he nicer than her, what do we call him? She has a friend in the resistance, you know? And then we have several pages of Elias figuring out who does he like? Does he like Helene, whatever her name is? Like his only friend, someone he has grown up with, and, you know, who is the both of them are now in this trial to become the Emperor or whatnot. Or does he like the slave girl? And there's like chapters of this, of him like comparing the two girls, like which one is better or not. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding? I hate when that happens. I really do. This is like my least favorite thing that happens in like YA fantasy or any book where like you're in a much more serious situation and you're thinking about, you know, which girl you like better. So there's that. Another thing is that I'm not vibing with the world. Like, it's dark. It's too dark for my current mood. And I honestly do not care about the characters enough to, you know, suffer through it. I looked at some reviews for the second book and the third book and the fourth book, the whole series actually. I looked at the summaries, so I know how the first book ends. And I looked at, you know, reviews of people, you know, who read it. And I think if I read this, so this one was published in 2015, and if I read it then and followed along, I think I would be more invested and whatnot. Currently, not so much. So I'm going to put this down. And that's it for this book. No. I'm a grown up. I can make decisions to not, you know, read books I don't want to. That only leaves me with Jasmine Throne, which is somewhere over there, and I'm going to start that tomorrow morning because I'm tired and I'm going to sleep. So yeah, this week is not going well. I can't. Hi, it is now April. It's the 2nd of April, actually. The last time I spoke to you, I think it was Thursday or Friday, and I DNF'd the Ember in the Ashes. And I had several days from then on to read Jasmine Throne. This did not happen because I was not in the mood, I think, to get into another world. And I thought with my current mood, I wouldn't really appreciate the whole thing, and I would have DNF'd it because I'm assuming the world will be darker. So yeah, I chose to not do this, and I'm going to read this at some other point, which would lead me to the actual failure of the whole point of this project. The point of the project was to try to finish the books on my Reddit Fantasy bingo TBR, and I didn't do that. But I also didn't achieve bingo because I did not read a book for each of the prompts. Am I sad about this? Not really, because I read some really fantastic books this month, and I was really surprised by some of the books, and I had a really great time with this project. Would it have been nicer to, achieve bingo? It would, but, I'm not fussed. It was fun. It was great. I had a fun time. So I'm just going to go quickly through all the prompts for last year's reading challenge, and I'll tell you what books I've read for that. I probably don't have reviews for all of them filmed because I did not film wrap-ups for the last 6 months probably. So yeah, I'll just tell you what they are to give you an idea of, what the prompts are like. So if you want, you can check out this year's prompts. It came out yesterday. I'll leave the link to everything down below. So if you want to participate in this kind of challenge, please do so. It's really fun because it makes you read outside of your comfort zone. So you get a chance to read new authors and discover new stories. So please do give it a chance. So these are last year's prompts and what I read for them. So, okay, prompt 1 was title within a title. So for this, I read 2 books. I read The Last Astronaut by David Wellington and The Bone Witch by Rin Chupeco, I believe. Then the second prompt was superheroes. For that, I barely finished Arch Nemesis by Marissa Meyer and decided to DNF the whole series. And I also finished When Gracie Met the Grump by Mariana Zapata, and I really, really liked it. Next prompt was bottom of the TBR. For that, I read Half Resurrection Blues by, I think, Daniel Jose Older. Then the next prompt was magical realism, and for that, I read The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher. And I DNF'd The Last Tale of the Flower Bride. I just could not deal with the writing style, and I don't generally like magical realism, so no. Then fifth prompt was YA. For that, I read Soulbinder by Sebastian de Castell and Iron Widow. Ooh, forgot the author's name, but you will see or hear on the book cover. Then prompt 6 was Mundane Jobs. For that, I read One Foot in the Fade by Luke Arnold. This is book 3 in the Fetch Phillips archives, which is really good, so give it a try. 7th prompt was published in the 80s. Not 80s, oh my god, what do you call them? Aughts? Aughts. The 2000 to 2010, I believe. So for that, I read The Curse of Challiange by, was it Louis McMaster Bujold? I think it was. Yeah. For that, it was fine. Then 8th prompt was Angels and Demons. I read Small Miracles by Olivia Atwater. I do believe that is a self-published fantasy blog of Rinner. And I read The Midnight Bargain by C.L. Polk, which I really, really liked. Then I had to read 5 short stories. I did not do my apocalyptic zombie thing at all, but I did read Bloodchild and other stories by Octavia E. Butler. It's really good, and if you get a chance, please do read it. 10th prompt was horror. For that, I read The Bizarro Bad Dreams by Stephen King. It's a collection of short stories. And I read Tender is the Flesh by an Argentinian, I believe, author. It was totally gross. Then prompt 11 was to read a self-published or indie novel. For that, I read The Grey Bastards by Jonathan French, and that time I Drugged the Dragon by Kimberly Leving. I really like that series. That's a fun series. Prompt 12 was to read Middle Eastern SFF, and for that I read The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi by Shannon Chakraborty. Then for the 13th prompt, I was supposed to read something published in 2023. For that, I read Starter Villain by John Scalzi. Really awesome. Also nominated for a Hugo Award. which is cool. And I also read The Scourge Between Stars by Ness Brown, I believe. It's a novella about a generation ship and something got in the ship and is slowly killing things, like think Alien. 14th prompt was Multiverse or Alternate Realities. For that I read The Masked City by Genevieve Cogman. This is book 2 in the Invisible Library and really enjoyed that one. I'm going to have to continue on with the series. 14th prompt was to read something by a POC author, and for that I DNF'd Rosewater by Tadei Thompson. I got to 80%, I believe, and I gave up because I could not care less about the character. He was very unlikable, and there were mentions of aliens in the, what was it, summary, and 80% in, there were no aliens to be found. So yeah, no. 16th prompt was to read book club or read along. So every year, month, whatever, the subreddit fantasy, they have like book clubs and whatnot. And for that, I read Orconomics by Zachary J. Pike, and I also read After the Dragons by, I think, Cynthia Zhang. Orconomics was fantastic. I think also it won the self-published blog of in its year. Then 17th prompt was to read the novella, and for that I read Ogres by Adrian Tchaikovsky, which was really cool. And I read What Can We Offer You Tonight by Preemie something. 18th prompt was Mythical Beasts, and for that I DNF'd The Ember in the Ashes. If you want to know why, just go to the beginning of this video. Then 19th prompt was to read something with elemental magic, and for that I read Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent, and it was fine. And I read Daughters of Izdihar by something that starts with someone who starts with H. But I did like that one, and the sequel just came out, I think, last month. So I'm gonna get to the sequel because it's really cool. Then for the 20th prompt, we had to read something with myths or retellings, and for that I read Mythos by Stephen Fry. Did not enjoy that at all. For the 21st prompt, the prompt was queer norm, which means that, you know, being queer is normal in this world. And for that I read In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune, and I read The Final Strife by Sara El Arifi. And then the 22nd prompt was to read something a book with coastal or island setting, and for that I read Jade City by Fonda Lee. Really, really liked it. Should get to the sequel soon. The 23rd prompt was to read something about druids. For that, James, I read nothing for that. That's like the one prompt I didn't manage to complete because I had Jasmine Throne and I wasn't really in the mood to read that. 24th prompt was something featuring robots, and for that I read Waking Gods by Sylvain Nouvel. Is the Waking Gods the first one? Because the first one is awesome. The second or third book in the series are just stupid. And I also read Machine Hood by S.B. Divya, and I really loved it. The last prompt was sequels, and for that I read The Lessons Never Learned by Rob J. Hayes, which is a sequel to Along the Razor's Edge. Loved Along the Razor's Edge. I think I gave that 5 stars, and I gave the sequel 2 stars because I did not like it at all. And for this prompt I DNF'd The Heart of the Sun Warrior by Sulan Tan because I could not, with all the YA-ness of this story. That was my TBR, all the books that I've read, and, you know, generally I really enjoyed this challenge. I was a bit iffy at the beginning of the month whether I would continue it, but now after reading all the books that were on my, almost all the books that were on my TBR this whole month, just focusing on that, sort of awoke a new motivation, and I already made a TBR for next year's. So that's it for this reading project. Again, if you want to participate in next year's reading challenge, I will leave all the information down below in the description box. If you like this video, please press the like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you in the new video. Bye!